I hope you like this video. Make sure to subscribe for more other videos until you win all the channels. I hope you like this.
Thank you so much. A Namibia. Please subscribe to your girls channel. Thank you so much. Hi my beautiful viewers, thank you so much for coming back. Those old returning subscribers, I appreciate you. It's because of you that we are this far. So please, for those that are here for the first time, thank you so much for being here. You are not in the wrong place. You are part of the family. Welcome. And please do subscribe so that we can grow together. Okay, please do hit, do it. Yes, subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, I need to get into this. So guys, thank you so much. We are over 500 subscribers and we are just beginning of March now. I really hope and pray that anytime soon will be around 800 subscribers, guys. Please do stick around here. Please do not give up. Better content is still coming, and believe me, I'll be sharing more and more as time passes. All right. So I thought maybe I should give you guys a little bit of my background. All right, I'm going to introduce myself so far up to this time as A Namibia. Thank you so much for being here, guys. So I am A Namibia. All right, but please, when you find me in the street, do not call me A Namibia. You know my name. All right, that's it. So you know what? Growing up, I was born in the central part of Namibia, Ochabanjupa region, guys. Otavi. I was born actually there by my mom, my beautiful mom, sorry. And I'm the fourth, how do I say, guys? English is not so good with me. Like at the point where I'm recording, English try to embarrass me, but guys, I'm going to speak it as raw as it is. So I grew up, and I was born by this beautiful woman, and she is I'm the fourth born on my maternal side, meaning on my mother's side, and from my father's side, I'm the firstborn girl child of my dad, and that's why I'm my father's favorite. But may my father's soul rest in peace. Okay, so guys, I grew up then I was born in Otavi, and then that was in the early 90s. Guys, I'm not going to disclose my age so much up to this point, but I grew up then in Otavi, and then until the age of 4. So after I turned 4, my father decided to give me away to my cousin. It's my cousin, but yes, my cousin. At the same time, she is my namesake. I was named after her. At the same time, she looks like me. At the same time, she is my Herona in Oshiwambo, guys. Those that coming from Namibia, my Herona brought me up. So I was given to her when she got married, and I was staying with her in Novemberland. I moved to the village, guys. I schooled in Oshikoto region, Mondonga, Poha, no nothing. Like we used to sell stuff for nothing. We used to go sell atuziko komronga. Omronga is the ponlonga. Poshiruru, I schooled at Oshiruru. My father is coming from Ikokora. We are Gonaina, but I grew up at Oshiruru, and then I went to school there, and we will mostly go to Onafinge to go sell Iyuguru, if those that knows those stuff, no Ndunga, no Nyandi, and I remember selling those stuff, guys. And growing up, then my mother's, I'll refer to my cousin that brought me up, and from this point, it's my mom, it's my mother. Okay, I'll have to specify when I speak about those two mothers, so that you can have an idea of which mother I'm talking about, because in this, up to now, guys, I'm confused. I have two mothers, and I'm the luckiest one. Even though I don't have a father at this point, I'm so complete. All right, so my mother, one that brought me up with my namesake, where she got married, there by Shiruru, we went there because it's where she got married, and then I was schooling there. And we were privileged. My mother's husband had a grandmother. She actually just passed away these days. Now in March in 2023 at the age of 104. May her soul rest in peace. And I believe growing up close to her, I have learned so much. I have learned a lot. So guys, so I really learned so much from my mom, my mother when I grew up, and also from this elderly lady that I said passed away a few days ago. So that is why I could, up to this point, I could do ombike, which is the traditional liquor. I could do onjove, I can do ojove, I can do most of the Oshiwambo traditional work, anything else, and I think it's because I grew up that side. So then in the late 2000, I schooled there, and in the late 2000s, I left the school and had to go back to my other mother, to Otavi. But wait, before I went back to Otavi, we grew up in this beautiful home. It was actually a very beautiful home, a Christian home, because my mom was this church leaders, or Onkuruntuwe Wongaro. At the same time, she was the church secretary. So we prayed a lot at home. Like, we couldn't go to bed without praying until this very day. Her husband, because her husband was based in Barves Bay or Swakopmon, I'm not really sure. And then he used to come to Wamboland. And you know, guys, that time we wake up, because we used to sleep in Onjogo. Ne? My mom will sleep in their room, as we sleep in Onjogo. It's so beautiful. We grew up in a house where there's only girls. Like, we used to herd kettles because there was no men. Guys, as I speak now, from my father's side of family where I grew up, we lack men. We only have a lot of ladies. So even so, we grew up there. We'll go herd kettles, take care of kettles. And this man, my mother's husband then, he was a little bit, hey, that man was strict, you guys. He was very strict. So what he will do is that we'll go herd kettles, and then somehow we'll just fall asleep because it's a little bit boring. We'll start playing and then we'll fall asleep, and then Ongobe, which is a cattle, will go and eat other people's field. And then obviously the neighbors will go and complain at our house that, no, your kids don't go bed, yeah, they ate up our field. And so what, Shiwampu used to do that, like, if your animals go and eat in somebody's field, because believe me, that time, those years when I grew up, and actually that side of our village, we don't have a ngobo, katunasha, or mankoroka. We don't have a fence that is fencing off your field. But I think it's a thing for now, but in the past there was nothing. So then the neighbors will come and say, no, you have to take the hoe at the mo, and then you have to go and cover your animal footprints. Tokaronga pamakondo wengo pam ongobevedha kuzampata mekera kuja sigompata vihuri karonge pamakondo weto vasikire. So that's what that was the punishment that we used to get in the past. So because we were actually very young, we would go herd kettles after school, but I didn't grow up had to karonga meza because I was actually the youngest by then, because my mom then, they didn't used to have a child with her husband. They didn't get a child. They didn't have a child. I was their child during that time. That's why I was given away to her so that I'll be their child in marriage. Okay, so I could do Ronga in EPSA. I could not plow, because I was considered as the youngest one. So what will happen is that the man, after we come back home, he'll wait until we go eat, guys. You know, in our African culture, we will sit down, we eat actually very late, and then there's pap on this side. We grew up eating only pap. If you are fortunate, there's meat. If there's no meat, then it's pap and spinach, and then pap and milk, because we had cattle in our house. So we are sitting, and then we are eating, like, you have two dishes, one of pap and the other one of milk, and then you are sitting around and then tamurine at one thing. That's also why we bonded, and I feel like it's I don't know what it means to African to eat at one plate. I don't know, but it's beautiful, guys. It's beautiful. So he will wait until we are seated there for dinner, and then he will come. You know, those that are coming from Namibian, epokorojonrunga, that man will take that and then he's coming to whip the hell out of us while we are eating, and then we have to run, and he will be like, no, now you go sleep and not because you are letting the cattle to eat up the food, and that is what people are feeding on. Guys, we grew up, that means we used to whip the hell out of us when we mess up, okay? But actually we grew up in a house of love until this other day. I don't know what happened. The devil visited our house, and then that man went to consume alcohol that he never used to do, and then he came back. He returned late from the cooker shops, and then he came and Okay, while we are at home sitting that evening, something happened. We are having dinner that evening. We know he's high on alcohol, and it's a weird thing. It's the first time that he's drinking alcohol in our house because he never really used to consume alcohol. So what happened is that we realized, because there was a candle in their room, we realized that there is fire, like fire broke in the room. Then we quickly ran in. Obviously the two beds has caught fire, and then we took water and killed the fire quickly. So because we are, as I said, we were Christian, or we are Christian, and that time we were very much like Christians to the bone. On Christ, so my mother would be like, okay, what happened now is since nobody got injured in this fire thing, and then even not much has been damaged, let us sit down and pray to the Lord and thank God for saving our life and saving us from this accident. So while sitting, we were busy praying, thanking the Lord. I remember everything. That man stood up and then kicked my mom on the head with ongaku, those safety boots, because remember he worked in Barvis Bay in the ministry somewhere, and then he used to bring those boots. He kicked my mom with those boots, and then my mother continued praying, and then he kicked her again. She continued praying. He kicked her again. My mother continued praying until she's done, until she said amen. And then she was like, why are you doing this to me? And then the man said, yeah, I'm doing this because the cause of fire there in the, what caused the fire, it's just you, but now you are here pretending to pray, but okay, that's, and then it ended there. So my mom said it's okay. While we are sitting there, that man, my mother's husband, took the bow and arrow. Guys, you know it most, that the bow and arrow is something that you get from the one that you get from when you get married in Oshuambo, as a man, kupe a bow and arrow, and that the arrow is made of spear. Okay, it's made of aluminium or some metal material, and it's sharp, guys. I will try to get a picture and try and see if I can place it here to show you this. This is how the bow and arrow looks in Africa. So he took the bow and arrow and then he shot my mom for the first time, because I think my mother was standing then. And then he pulled the arrow out, and then he shot her for the second time, pulled it out, shot it for the third time, and then my mother fell over. But it was in front of us, so it was very traumatizing. So what happened is that she got injured, and then it's fine. She decided, okay, for this evening I'm going to sleep at Monjugo with my kids. It was me and her, actually. I don't really remember who else was there, but I only remember about me and her. Okay, yeah, it was me, her, my other cousin, and then that time they have a child, hey, and then their daughter, but their daughter was actually very young. So I went to sleep with my mother in Onjugo. Oh, guys, I don't think their daughter was there. She went somewhere for holiday, I think, but she was very young. Okay, so we went to sleep in Onjugo, and then later the men went to the neighbors and then went to get a car for the neighbors, that no, they must come take my mom to the hospital. My mother said, I'm not going to the hospital, I will sleep here. If I have to die, I will die here. I will not go to the hospital, because the nearest hospital by then was Onanjoke Hospital, and it was quite far. So me and my mom lied down there. She put a plastic over. Believe me, she's bleeding. And then she put a plastic over. She was bleeding into the plastic. And then what happened is that he said, if you don't come out of that room to go to the hospital, I will burn it down, and then you guys are going to be burned in there. Believe me, this man is still high on alcohol. No, even if he regretted a few minutes ago that what he did was not right, because he was even saying, no, just come and go to the hospital, mistakes are being done, and so on and so on. Because then my mom said, no, I can't, I will just sleep here. So the owner of the car went there, because my mother said, no, that they don't feel bad, I'm not going to the hospital, I will just stay here. If anything happens, it's okay, I will stay here. Like, my mother had given up, and that time I'm just laying there, I'm like, I will be by your side no matter what. I'll stay with this woman, because that's my only mom by then. Okay, it's a mom that I knew. And yes, so let me not get emotional. Okay, so and then what happened, he attempted to take a match. You know, we are sleeping in Onjugo. The traditional hut is made out of grass hay. So he was at the door, he took the match, he light the fire at the door of the hut, of the hut, yes, of the Onjugo. He lighted there, so the fire, then the fire started a bit, and then we just lying there in bed in the room, like, no, we are not going anywhere. If you're going to die, you want to kill us, you must kill us, and that's it. So, and then he said, he decided that we are not scared. He blew the fire, and then he killed the fire. He went to sleep the next morning. No, late in the midnight there, we had a neighbor. Our neighbor was an old man who was living by himself. That by then, we went midnight to him, me and my mom, to go to ask if he had any medicine to apply on my mom's wounds because she was heavily bleeding. So he did assist my mother. He put on a little bit of medicine and he came to lie down. The next day it was a Sunday morning. So the plan we had then is that the pre-plan we had, me and my cousin, is that we are going to go sell our stuff Konathinge or Nyandini Shike Hembonga. We go sell them the next Sunday. So as children, or maybe as a child that I was, and the faith that we have, guys, like I grew up in the house of faith. That's why I know what it feels to be loved by God. I know, and I've experienced God's favor upon my life. That's why my faith up to this point, it's superb. So my mom next morning went home, because home is now where we are coming from, where we came from before she got married to this man. It's actually a few villages away, but it's walkable distance. So she went home in the morning, went to tell her mom, everybody took her to the hospital, and then on a Sunday, and us, me and my other cousin, we continue from that house of an abusive man. We went to Onathinge to go sell our stuff. So we went to sell, and then we came back Komatangonga when it's sunset. I believe there was a herb that people used then. It's a green herb called Nzia. I don't know if it does exist up to now. We will take that Nzia leaf and then we put in our thingy under, like in the basin where there's your stuff to sell, and then believe me, those things will not last. They will sell quickly out. So as I say, I grew up next to this grandmother, and then I tapped a lot of wisdom from her. So yeah, and then we came back Komatango, we came back home, and then we were there at home. So the man came and told us, oh, you know what, today is Sunday, yeah. Apparently at church they announced a man that shot his wife, but it was not me. And then we said, okay. So we cooked it, and then I went to bed. The next morning is Monday, I have to go to school. So when I went to school, I was called by the teachers to go to the church, Koshinyanga Chevongaro. You know that in Ovampolen, I don't know if it's everywhere, but where I grew up, where I've been, Ongereka and the school, they are in the same yard. So Oshinyanga Chevongaro and Ongereka, no scholar, they are just there. So I was called to go there. And then I went to I was told that no, after school, don't go back to the other house. Go to your grandmother's house. Okay, then I said, okay, after school I went to the other village, because it's walkable distance. Kids from other villages also come. It was the only school so far that was closer to us. Then I went home, I found my mother there, they stitched her and so on. We were at home for a few days. As I said, we are Christians, and we believed our faith was strong, and we believe in forgiveness. After a few months, the men sent the church members to come to our house, come and apologize what happened. Yeah, you are married and you have said your vows, which that forever, in sickness and in health, in trials and tribulations. So my mother forgave this man, but that man, I believe that my grandmother told the church members, no, it's okay, we hear you, but let him come himself. He must come himself here. He must come. We have a few questions to ask him before these people can go back home. Okay, maybe he was a little bit scared. After a few weeks, he came to our house. We had this man is a gentleman, guys, that used to wear like a gentleman, guys. Okay, so he came, and then you know when you are coming in a Shwambo house, you are first coming and then Koshinyanga, you sit there until people come and greet you there. Okay, so we could see through guys. Oh, it's so nice. And then it was this man. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I told then my cousins, they went there. Remember at our house where we are now, the way we came from, we came from a bigger house, guys, and it's a diverse house. How do I say blended family? Like my grandmother was married to this man. It's all that she is. So the man had kids outside the marriage, because believe me, we are Africans and polygamy had played a role those years. So this man had kids outside marriage, and then those kids came and stayed in this marital home. So my grandmother took care of those kids. She also had her kids in marriage, and then there was kids outside marriage from there. other men. So the kids came there, and those that were also there before my grandmother got married to this man. So that's how our house was big, and it's a blended family up to now, guys. The man passed away, and who's my grandfather, my grandmother's husband, because he was way too old. And then those children up to now as we speak, we are still staying in that same house. Even those that have their mothers in the same village, when they got married, they still got married in our house. I'm coming from a house of love, and believe me, I know what it means to uteku, maito hamutekura, and to different people, and there is love in that house. We do not have what we do not differentiate. Whoever come, we just accept. So to the point that even when my grandmother's husband died, let me say my grandfather, but I want to speak to make you guys understand. When he passed away, his children still remain there. They have, believe me, they have their mothers in that same village. So some got married after then, but they prefer still to stay in our house. Up to now, as we speak, they are staying there. We are still staying there. We just say cousins and all that, but it's a blended family. So yeah, so this man came in that house, and then my cousin went to greet. I want to talk to you. So obviously in Oshuambo, when there is something serious to be spoken about, the owner of the house or the elders can't speak to you alone. They have to, we actually value neighbors. But fortunately, our neighbor was also part of our family. I don't know, but our neighbor was the head man, and then he's my mother's family. And remember that in this house, I grew up from my father's side of family. So our neighbor, then my grandmother said, okay, Matoka, go and call Meme Hoho and the neighbors to come. I have guests here. You go call, and then they ask you, who's there? No, it's Tati Hoho. Okay. Then she has to come urgently, put on her dress and come. Sit down. And then my grandmother started asking him, when you met this woman, was she having any scar? No. Was she having what? No. Was she ever being dishonest to you? No. Have you ever picked up anything that is not right with her? Any weird stuff with her since you married her? No. Okay. My grandmother was like, no, be appreciative. Value her, because in our family, we produce women. We do not produce, let me not choose the word. So appreciate her that we even accepted a cow. It's lobola for you to marry this woman, because there were other men that will have married her apart from you. My grandmother spoke, guys. My grandmother spoke and told that man nicely, and then he was told we'll consider it, and then they will come back home. So he went, then he sent again people after a few days to come and get us. So later we went back. When we got back to our other house, then we found that the house was destroyed. Everything was totally destroyed. It was eaten up. The house was apart. Okay, and then we decided, okay, sorry, I have to sip. And then we decided that, okay, we'll start over. As I said, guys, the strength that Atoman has, the one that brought me up, the strength that she has, guys, the confidence that she has. Oh, I adore that woman. Women, if you are watching this, obviously she's watching, and that's my beautiful mother, my namesake, my Herona, my beautiful cousin. So, applaud. Okay, long live woman. All right, so we started over. We built this house over again, and then we got it on point. Then we're living there. Something happened again after a few years that was not to be forgivable, and then we left. That's how we left. But that's a story for another day. We left, and then we then did not come back after a few years, or I think so. The man also just suddenly passed away because he was getting out of hand, and as I said, the devil really took over him. He was such a good man, but Satan, guys. Yeah. So that's how that's a short story of how I then grew up. So, and then when that happened, and then our house, then we had to leave for the last time. So my mother took me over and then said, no, this time I'll take my child. Let me take her and stay with her for now. So that's how I went to Otavi, and then in the late 2000s, that's when I went to Otavi, and then go school there until then I had completed my school. Yeah, I schooled in Otavi from my grade 7 until grade 11, halfway. Then I left to Okakarara, Ochodonjupa region, and then I went to Okakarara. I went to school in Okakarara, then my grade 11 until my grade 12. Okakarara is a beautiful place, guys. Like, hi, my heavies. So I completed my school there. So that's how it went, and then I left. So I'm coming from, I know what it means to love people. I know what it means to appreciate people. I know what it means to respect people. So growing up it was so beautiful, guys. We were loved. And I remember, guys, I remember my mom will be like, she will be going to town, and then whenever she comes from town, she will bring for us sweets. We expect something from town, man. That time, it was just something else, guys. It was beautiful. And that woman, guys, I appreciate her like a lot. So yeah, so that's my story shortly of how I grew up. And then yeah, I have been very happy, and up to now I still live. Even when I got married, I still got married from my paternal side, because we believe that you just where you grow up is where you must and get married from, is where you build, and so on and so on, unless maybe there's dispute from the two families. But so that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much. This story is going to be very long. I'll make another part for another day, but please do like my videos, please do subscribe to this channel. And one thing I can say is that please, if it's just to subscribe, if you don't want to miss any update on this channel, hit the bell. Also click the bell, then you will be notified whenever I upload a new video. Otherwise, I thank you so much for watching, and more story time is coming. So now at least you have a little idea of who I am. But even though I said, call me E-News Namibia, alright? And I'm also urging the YouTubers that are watching here, those small YouTubers, we need to love one another, okay? We must bring each other, uphold one another, so that we can grow. All right, so otherwise that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be sharing more and more story time, and thank you so much.